In general, looks like we are getting started. We are on Dorado. It is going to be Team Dino kicking off the defense against Melty, which is firing up on the offense.
Yeah, and I like how this offense looks right now with 3 Choreborns. I think that is a viable strat.
You know what, Melty, they did say they're going to redefine the meta. They actually didn't say that, but let's just pretend they did. And let's pretend they're going to do it with 4 Torbjorns.
Melty, of course, ranked number 2 overall in our Gosu Gamers Overwatch rankings. Dino Nuggets comes in ranked 51, but a win off Melty will shoot them up those points for sure.
Yep. Think about Dino. I've definitely seen some of their players in some of the higher MMR pubs, so I would not write them off just yet. You know, Melty, of course, coming in as a big favorite, but you never know. Again, one thing we'd like to stress, it is early in Overwatch competition, so teams really can come out of nowhere. Kind of as we saw there with Sad Boys, just
literally out of nowhere.
Literally out of nowhere.
So do you know whose map pick this was? Who chose to play?
I don't know whose map pick this was. I feel like it might have been Melty's, but I'm not sure. Melty did seem like Dorado, but that could be entirely wrong. But while we're talking about Dino, we got Qualm on McCree, Zealous on Lucio, Ka on Zenyatta, Ill on Reinhardt, Javers on Genji, and Narashu on D.Va.
Yeah, people underestimate how hard it is to cast, mostly just because player names are so nonsensical. On offense, we're going to see Nico go to Genji, Bot is going to play Zenyatta, we'll see that combo. And offensive Widowmaker start from Cry, Moon is going to be on Reinhardt, Dagoon on Pharah, and Cabal playing Lucio.
Yeah, right now I'm just taking a look at Qualm. Qualm acting as sort of the heart of the Dino defense, acting as McCree. It's going to be up to him to shut down D-Gun's Pharah. We saw D-Gun's Pharah do a lot of work last time we saw Melty play in the EU Cup last week. And I'm curious to see what D-Gun's going to be doing today.
Cry on offensive Widowmaker just 1v1 the D.Va. The D.Va's still in the back, but out of her mech, and she gets killed by the offensive Widowmaker. Great play in the back lines.
Yeah, Crew. It's not Cry W, by the way. It is Crew. Crew getting in there, and right now, Melty really just kind of rolling in. And we're seeing Nico also get some value off the Genji.
Yeah, see what I was saying about nonsense names. How is that Crew? That's not how you use Wise. Anyway, a
I know,
huge push by Melty so far.
Yeah, Melty doing pretty well. They got the picks they needed, and they just kind of rolled through there. And Crew being very, very aggressive on Widow right now. Using the offensive Widow. It gets the pick on D.Va towards the end there, and wow, Crew is on point. He must be rocking a very high accuracy thus far.
Yeah, and the thing about Widow too, you can play her that aggressive because her kit does allow self-defense. You know, like I said, she got bombed in by the D.Va earlier, and she just defended herself and it was fine.
Yep, and I mean if she does get in trouble, the grapple is good, and he takes out the Zenyatta. Crew is so far up. This is the most aggressive Widow I think I've seen in casting Overwatch comp. Oh, and he's just staying in there. He lands a big hit on the Genji.
Yeah, by far, and this D.Va is sent back to deal with her, and I'd be scared if I was that D.Va. She already killed me once.
Yeah, Crew using that hook to get out, lands the grapple midair shot, and Crew is on fire right now.
It's just been phenomenal.
Literally.
Offensive Widowmaker. This is stunning.
Yeah, and the offensive Widow is just creating so much space. You know, people sort of writing off Widow to some extent recently, not using her quite as much, and Crew showing why she can still be very, very powerful. Take a look at Nico right now. Nico is running in. He's going to bring out the Dragon Blade, although he's not going to find it hard to get value because Lucio just dropped the beat. He's still, though, he's looking for taking out several people.
Yeah, that's a 3K. That's insane.
Yeah, he took out several people on the Dino team, and Melty showing why they are one of the top teams in EU right now. They are just rolling, and who is going to stop them?
It's that unfettered aggression, and then just like this offensive Widowmaker is stunning. She hasn't died yet. The mobility and her self one-on-one defense has kept her alive throughout, and now she's fighting Genji, and she still gets out. Crew still alive.
Yep. Still alive, getting chased by Tracer and Genji. Usually heroes that really hand Widowmaker her behind, and Widow able to just kind of Crew's just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get out of here.
It's a lot.
And he's just, the important thing is, as I watch him, there's no kill feed, but you just hear every hit sound. It's just like snipe, hit, snipe, hit. He's just sniping out his mind. He gets the Pharah pick there in close range.
And as they have to dedicate resources to go deal with it, they're losing 2 of their flankers who want to be causing havoc on the back lines, and they can't. They have to go try to deal with this Widowmaker. Meanwhile, the cart has not stopped moving.
And interesting enough, from Dino now switching to 2 Tracers. That's kind of interesting. You don't usually see 2 Tracers on defense. I don't know if that's going to work out for them. You're seeing pulse bombs going off in the Reinhardt, though. Reinhardt got not 1, but 2 bombs. That was you can't get any more dead than that as well.
Yeah, and the cart's finally stopped. I think they came out with 2 Tracers just to try to deal with like the Widowmaker and the Genji that was happening to them. Now they switch off a Tracer, go to a more traditional. Well, no, they didn't switch off the Tracer. Never mind.
Speaking of more traditional, the era of the Crew offensive sniper is over. This is a really hard point to do offensive Widow on. So I'm not too surprised to see Crew switch off to the Zarya, but man, that was entertaining.
It worked out pretty well for them.
And right now we see Neeko with the Dragon Blade slicing and dicing is able to get 1, 2, 3 kills, and he's still alive. He is going in. He's gonna have to be a little bit careful over here.
The Rocket Barrage follows up, and there was only 2 Tracers left. 1 Tracer died. There's just a Tracer behind the cart they have to worry about. Of course, they're going to stagger in their defense here, but they're already posting up to spawn camp this.
Yeah, Neeko looking, or just Melty in general, looking very, very strong here. Neeko very much on point. And you're just seeing Melty push without a whole lot of pressure being on them. Big Zariel is going to go down, but it looked like it was going to kill a bunch of people, but everyone's already dead.
Yeah, more zoning than anything else, and what a dominant performance there. That is a very, very quick time on offense.
Can I just note that all of Melty is on fire? They might literally be melting from the heat.
That's just... oh my goodness. That was unfettered aggression. The offensive Widowmaker was so cool.
Yeah, the offensive Widow, he got away with a lot, and he punished the dinos, as it were, for most of that game, and that was just great to watch by Crew, and Neeko doing a really good offensive Genji job during that as well.
I mean,
just
26% of the team's total damage came from that offensive Widowmaker. Now, the Crew played Widowmaker in a way that we haven't seen her kit used yet before. After the nerf came in, where her damage was lowered individually, and the boost was lowered on Mercy's boost on Widowmaker, you saw Widowmaker kind of fall out of the meta, except in very niche situations. Crew used that kit to perfection with the mobility, was staying alive. He got in close. He was able to use her automatic weapon function. Just phenomenal play, and overall a great demonstration of how a Widowmaker is still viable.
Yeah, I mean, it just looked... Melty was on point. They set the tone for the map here. Hopefully Dinos can come back and make a match of it, but that is a very hard time to beat. Also, did you catch the time to beat?
No, I didn't. I was so excited.
All right.
Maybe chat's got it. I don't know. Someone
maybe they have it because they're being more responsible than I am in catching the time here. Okay, they're saying 4:27. I will believe them for the purposes of the almighty timer.
You know, still sportsmanship still exists in the competitive Overwatch because it's a young game. It hasn't been flooded with toxicity and anger yet. So,
but
I imagine
wouldn't that be a little bit of metagaming where you just take a little bit off? Maybe it was actually, maybe it was like 440 and they're just like, let's say 427. Just metagame it just a little bit.
I'm not sure we're going to need it. That was a dominant performance. Of course, dominating on offense doesn't mean you'll do the same on defense, but we are going to see the Melty staple Symmetra play, and it's going to be really interesting to see. The rest of their defense is going to be Moon, L, and Reinhardt. Neeko is going to play Reaper. Neeko played amazing Reaper in the first tournament we saw. Daegun is going to be on Pharah. Crew is going to be on Zarya. Cabal running Lucio. And, of course, Bod on that Symmetra. The Symmetra play that is kind of Melty's trademark.
I just can't wait to see Melty play not Enigma or Hubris on Dorado. And I just want to see if the Symmetra can hold. Because that is a very, very big point of contention right now between NA and EU.
Right. I mean, it kind of goes against the NA style, and this is what I was talking about earlier. NA is an aggressive style, and the European teams tend to play a little more defensively, although we just saw some crazy aggression out of Melty, so...
Melty was, it was really just fueled by the Widow and the Genji, and they were just in.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, for the attacking scene, we have Narashu on an offensive Symmetra, Ill on Tracer, Ka on the Zarya, Javers on Genji, Zealous on Zenyatta, and Qualm on a second Tracer. They're running 2 Tracers again, regardless of offense or defense.
Yeah, this offensive Symmetra is a little bit strange as well. Maybe they really want to try to break through shields, or it's a misclick. It's a very strange composition.
I'm taking a look at Neeko right now. Neeko, not wasting any time, getting to the back line of Dinos, and he is doing all sorts of damage, is able to get the double kill. He's under a little bit of pressure here, but you know what? He can Wraithform out, and that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, with some early deaths there on the Tracers, kind of a really squishy composition. I'm still kind of curious what they plan on doing with this offensive Symmetra.
Yeah, the offensive Symmetra, clearly it's to help the Tracers. Tracer is way stronger at the 200 HP, but one of the Tracers now just getting absolutely slaughtered by Neeko, and this is just not going the way Dino wants it to go.
I guess it's to help
now.
Tracers, but both Tracers have been dead most of this game so far.
Yeah, sometimes theory does not always end up working in practice, and that might be one of the things right now. Actually, we have one of the Tracers going out without the Symmetra shield. I feel like that's a mistake. If you're going to run that, at least you need to get the shield before you go out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll see if maybe what they have planned can come to fruition and they just haven't been able to do it yet. But right now, this is just unorthodox, to say the least, and a mistake at worst.
Yeah, and we're checking out D-Gun right now. D-Gun just offering a lot of solid fair damage. I mean, it's easy to focus on the other parts of Melty here, like, you know, Nico's pretty phenomenal Reaper play, but, you know, right now, they're going to have a teleport. I think they actually do have a teleporter up, or if they don't, they're about to have it up, and this is suddenly going to be very, very hard, I feel, for Dino to break.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of damage going down with these kind of really well spaced out Symmetra turrets, and that of course helps her charge her ultimate, so that teleporter might be up, and I mean, even without it, they're not dying. They don't even need to reinforce.
No, I mean, this has been a true domination. Melty is coming to NA soil, and they are just obliterating an A team. We have a Zariel coming down right now for that, and it's going to get comboed with the barrage, and a few people on Melty are going to go down there, but, you know, they're going to just teleport right back in, Hex.
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of the teleporter. It's kind of like resurrection, but a constant resurrection. How fast you get to the front lines, because respawn times are not that long in Overwatch. The walk is what's long, so if you can cut that distance down, it is like a very consistent resurrection mechanic.
Yep, and that's effectively what it is, because we're seeing all of Melty immediately coming back in after that nice push by Dino. And here comes Dino. Zarya is out. They're pushing pretty heavily here. Both Tracers getting in the backfield. They are able to take out the Reinhardt and Zarya in quick order, but unfortunately, Melty with the return fire.
Did you see both Tracers go down to the Symmetra?
Yeah, it was the Symmetra and Reaper. They just got in there, and was that the same Symmetra orb that did that?
Who knows? What I do like, what I'm seeing out of Dino, though, is that both the Tracers are staying together, which if they do that and they start getting effective picks, they can really snowball into some good aggression. Dealing with two Tracers is almost impossible unless your team's coordinated and well focused to do it.
Tracer has some incredible damage, and hang on, here comes Javers. Javers with the Dragon Blade is going to rush in on top of Melty, but he's not able to get quite the value he wanted to get out of that. I mean, they will take out Munel, they will get rid of the Reinhardt, they've gotten rid of the Melty tanks.
Yeah, they're pushing him back really well. As soon as this Lucio ult fades, they're going to be in trouble up front.
But what we saw there, Zealous was under fire by D-Gun. D-Gun able to just sort of just float here and do all sorts of terrible damage with the Pharah. I mean, that was great. He got 2-3 picks off of that, and that's just going to push Dino all the way back, and you know what? I believe if they don't have another teleporter up now, they're about to have another one up they're about to have one up soon. Look at Bod. His ultimate is charged. So if Dino's going to do something, they need to do something quick before that teleporter is operational.
Yeah, unfortunately, Melty does have 4 ultimates up, and they're going to be ready to post a defense. We'll see if the offensive Zenyatta ultimate comes into play here and does more than our first game.
Yeah, although one thing that's kind of a point here, we are in stopwatch format, and I think even if they were to hold on the point the entire time, I don't think they win this. And Nico coming in with the Death Blossom, but it's all negated by Zealous's Transcendence, the nice Zenyatta ult. Zarya ult is going to come down, not going to get a whole lot from it, is going to pull in Javers for a second. Javers with the Dragon Blade, trying to take out Zarya, is going to take out Zarya. And this is looking good for Dino. The problem is they just don't have enough time.
No, I mean, this first push has taken them a really long time to get through, and I'm not sure exactly where our stopwatch is, but Crew just called GG. Considering we took his first time advice, I'd imagine it's pretty close to GG here.
It is GG. The time has run out even on the stream, so... You know, Dino was making a good push towards the end. They just did not have the time to work with. You know, maybe if they were attacking first,
you know, like,
it would last a little bit longer.
In retrospect, because they had such a quick time to beat, like, the double Tracer super aggressive composition was probably the smart move. Again, I'm not entirely certain if that Symmetra was correct. Giving Tracer the extra health is a good benefit. They must have tried it and practiced it, and it worked out well, but the Tracers were just never able to get going in Snowball. Optimally, what you want to do is keep them both alive and just hunt people down, and they were just never able to get their footing.
Yep. It was, honestly, though, it was an interesting strategy. I give it to them for trying to pull something out of their hat, doing something brand new.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, it didn't work out, but, you know, I get that they wanted to try something there.
Well, and when you're against a team that's just like a powerhouse like Melty, you kind of have to throw a curveball at them.
You absolutely do, and, yeah, it didn't work out the way they want, but, you know what, Map 2 is approaching. Obviously, judging from Map 1, it feels like Melty definitely more on the advantage side here, but... You know, we can see Dino can make a comeback. Melty, they're going to have to get through Melty's incredibly solid play, though. I mean, both, Nico and crew were just playing out of their minds the first
Yeah,
map.
but what will say for Melty though is if they're thinking about interesting strategies like that and they're trying them, they might be like one of the teams that we talked about yesterday who just has a plan for a very specific map. It's going to be their map pick and their offense or defense choice as well. So considering that they're obviously theory crafting and trying out new things, they might have something that they just feels very strong on a specific map, and we might see something new.
Yeah, I mean, they are doing that theory crafting. They are trying to do new things like the double tracer, Symmetra on offense. I mean, it's a nice idea. And we kind of need to see that innovation. This is so early in the meta that we are just going to see innovation. We're going to see failed attempts at innovation, but we're going to see new stuff all the same. So it'll be curious to see if Dino has any other, anything else in their bag of tricks.
Yeah, that's going to be what to watch for, because honestly, like, they really can't. It seems like it would be very difficult to go against Melty just straight up and regular comp versus regular comp. You have to try something new, and I think Dino's capable of it.
No, they certainly are. We're going to take a quick break. This is the Gosu Gamers Overwatch Weekly North American Cup number 2. I am ZP. I am joined by Hexagrams, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. And we are back with the Gosu Gamers Overwatch Weekly North America Cup number 2. I am ZP, joined by Hexagrams, and we are just about ready to go. And is Volskaya the map choice here?
I haven't been looking at chat. Let's just ask them.
I believe it is.
That would be wonderful. It goes into the idea that maybe they got something up their sleeves, and we rarely see Volskaya.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure what to expect on this. This might be the first time we've casted Volskaya in a game, period.
Thinking that. I don't think we've ever seen Volskaya. Awesome, new blood.
So, interesting traits of Volskaya. Point A is really hard to hold. But if anyone can do it, it might be Melty. They're definitely going to bust out the Symmetra here, I feel like.
Yeah, Symmetra actually is very strong on Volskaya. There's all these little rooms and kind of flanks. So yeah, we are going to Volskaya. Cool. It's no Hollywood, but awesome, new maps.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe Dino's thinking here, Melty is a more experienced team. Bring them to a map that they haven't played as much and try and, shock them there.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about yesterday, when teams feel like maybe they're just kind of outmatched a little bit, maybe a newer team just gelling together, that you have to try some of these new strategies. And these pros are practiced on Kings Row, they're practiced on Gibraltar, they play them all the time in scrims because they're very popular map choices. Bust out something like Volskaya, which actually a lot of pros have said, we don't really like pure capture point maps. It may be to their advantage. Awesome.
Yeah, very much so. So this is going to be interesting. very curious to see how this pans out, and if Dino can make a bigger game of it. And as expected right now, we are looking at the Melty roster. They have Bod on Symmetra, so they will be running the Symmetra for that point A defense. They have Crew on Zarya, Moon L on the Roadhog, D-Gun on Pharah, Cabal on Lucio, and Nico on McCree.
So we'll see if these offenses stand as they are. I see no reason to hide them as offense is very far away. But Qualm is going to be running McCree, Zealous on Mercy, Ka on Zenyatta, Ill on Reinhardt, Javers is going to play Genji, and Nurashu on Winston. So the double tank, the Winston is a really good initiation on capture point maps especially, a little less so on payloads. Adding a Reinhardt there, I think they're going to go with the Zenyatta and Genji combination with the healing orb, and then McCree's just good, consistent damage, and Mercy Resurrections can win games.
Yep, definitely true on all counts. Although he did cheat a little bit. He didn't say ill. That's the part of the
No,
name
I heard
really.
you do it once, and I decided exactly right then
just
and there.
you just decided, you know what, I'm not doing that.
Ill.
So right now I'm watching, definitely interested in Nico right now. Nico holding at a very interesting position here. So he's actually looking for a little bit of damage from that side there. I didn't even know that was a side. I wonder if you can blink over and get in through there. I actually did not know that about Volsky in terms of like that linking to there. Meanwhile, we do have Dino trying to get in right now, and both teams are sort of fighting back and forth. Nico doing a lot of damage to the tanks that are coming in. Both Winston and Reinhardt going down in short order. We have Javes trying to get in the back as Genji, and he's not going to find any success there.
Actually, absolutely wrecked there. And again, it's kind of a thing we've seen with other teams when they fail is that their tanks go in and they initiate, but their team is a little too far back in the follow-up. It's not really a committed initiation. It's just tanks going in, and then they struggle when the tanks go down.
And honestly, Melty just looking very, very strong on the first defense point. They just sort of out-DM'd everything.
Yeah, and Symmetra's good on this map too. You start putting these turrets around this truck, which are hard to spot and then to shoot, and by then it's too late and you've been focused down. Winston coming in on the left side though, is the support going to be there?
Yeah, he just got taken out immediately. Winston, Reinhardt, and Zenyatta all just kind of got gibbed immediately by the combined power
6K
of
full
Melty.
white.
I mean, I'd say what it was, but it was really just sort of a full team effort. Everyone had a piece. You had Roadhog getting a lot of powerful harassment, Nico landing multiple shots, and Pharah landing shots. So
Yeah.
that was just a full team effort, and it resulted in a very, very stuffed push from Dino.
The teleporter is online, which is huge. This is such a long walk on spawn for defenders. So now the teleporter's up. It's in a very safe position in the back. Melty's going to be able to reinforce very effectively.
Yeah, that teleport coming up is a big deal. Right now we're seeing D-Gun kind of holding here with Jets looking to go in. He is going to go in off of that gigantic Zarya ult, and right now, really just, it looks like Dino's just spread out. I don't know. They sort of spread out from that.
Big res. We'll see if they can get it together after this resurrection, though. But you're right. They were spread out, getting picked apart. The res, unfortunately, brings them all in the same spread out position. Some good damage going down, though. A couple key picks. Melty is 3 dead right now. However, it is 3 to 4 dead on Dino as well.
We just saw a phenomenal rocket barrage coming out from D-Gun. D-Gun taking out 3 people there. Just some very, by the book Pharah cleanup. See Nurashu here as D.Va just sort of, not sure, doing something. He's going to get taken out by D-Gun here, and Javers suddenly under a lot of pressure. Rocket's chasing him. Is he going to take a rocket to the back? He is going to get out, but Mercy is going to sort of just pay the price there.
Yeah, I kind of like the notion
life.
of what they try to do there. They try to keep the aggression up so they didn't have to fight through this arch again, because now Symmetra's putting her turrets back up again, which caused a lot of problems for Reaper and Genji trying to get through. Unfortunately, they couldn't hold that ground. They have to take kind of this intermediary ground before they can even get to the point.
Yeah, right now we're just watching Qualm. Qualm trying to build a little bit of space for Dino by flanking around, but suddenly he runs into almost literally the entire Melty team, and he just gets taken out in short order. And this is a very strong defense from Melty right now.
Yeah, what would you switch up here? Would you just go even more tanks? Would you start... Well, they did start running a D.Va, which is, I think, is an interesting start to an aggressive Bish. Or... Bish. I meant build and push. That's how I said Bish. Anyway, but do you start going more tanks, more aggressive initiations?
I think if nothing else, they definitely need to get Lucio in here. They're not running Lucio. I think that hurts some of what they're trying to accomplish here. Right now we see Javes trying to go in from the back, and he is left without friends here. He is trying to go in, and his team is not with him. Right now we're taking a look at Nico. Nico's flanking around the side, gonna try and take out the soldier. Both fighting back and forth. Ka doing a good job of staying alive and not dying.
Yeah, they're getting in pretty deep now. They are losing players as it goes, but the Lucio and the Pharah are down for Melty, so it might be a chance for where they can keep up this offense. Their spawn is closer. I think that teleporter is still up, though.
The teleporter is still up, and a new teleport actually just went, so it was fresh. The problem is there, a pretty big risk coming out. That's 4 people getting resurrected by the Mercy. Arrow Barrage is going to go down, but Mercy herself is going to get taken out by the Helix Rocket of Ka. And this is some life in Dino here. They're going in. Javers with a quick Dragon Blade takeout. Lucio ult is going down for Cabal. The only problem that Dino has here is that teleporter is going to cause issues. Everyone from Melty is just going to come right back in.
Yeah, I mean, it's odd that defense has a faster walk than the offense on the first capture point, but this teleporter is providing just that, and while they did have some life there, it just wasn't enough. I liked the resurrection there, but in the first one, they were still grouped up as a team and were able to just continue to push, but it just wasn't enough.
And note that we have now hit the do or die point for Dino. If they cannot get in here in short order, they're going to have to do just as impressive a defense if they want to stay in this tournament.
They're being pushed all the way back to their spawn, and that never feels good.
Yeah, and I think you're just seeing Melty be this aggressive because they do have the teleporter up in the back. They know that they can push him back and, you know, even just prevent the possibility of overtime, and that is exactly what they do. Just a very tight by the book defense. You know, for a moment it did look like Dino was making some headway, but the teleporter got all of Melty back in time, and oh my god, play the game from Symmetra.
Stranger things have happened.
This is a first for competitive casting, I feel like.
Yeah, it's her turrets on the truck doing all the work. I remember watching this. Reaper just sat in the turret for way too long because the moment you take your attention off your target to shoot the turret, then you're dead. It really forces heroes to make tough decisions, especially those flank heroes.
You know, one thing I think I would like to see him play the game, if it is the turrets doing all the work, show us the turret point of view. Let's see the turret's point of view. Make the turret the hero.
Yeah, have it talk like in Portal.
You know,
I mean,
I wasn't down for that level of copyright infringement, but let's go for it.
what? So what?
Blizzard lawyers will figure something out.
Valve is the only one who can have machines that can talk? Come on. Let's not start with Valve and copyright infringement. There, yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. You know, I'm just thinking about how this map's gonna play out. I'm gonna make a somewhat, you know, not really that bold of a prediction, but a prediction. I think Melty might take this on the first or second push. It is very hard to hold this point, and I think Dino's just gonna find it difficult to even like run a Symmetra and do, you know, hold the way they want to here.
That's what separated Melty's Symmetra play from everyone else's. Melty's obviously just like the kings of defense right now, running the Symmetra to such great effect. We've seen other teams try. It's not a style that has not been attempted to be imitated, but other teams don't get the teleporter up and charge, and when you're in that situation, we talked about it, it's like being down a player. If she's not doing good work and the map's not suited for her sentries and her shield breaking secondary, and the teleporter doesn't come up, then you were just playing 5v6 essentially.
Yeah, pretty much, and I don't know, it's just gonna be interesting to see how this works out. Dino has a very, very hard job in front of them. I mean, even in pubs, even when playing with friends, holding point A in pubs is a pain. It is so hard to hold this point. A testament to how well Melty played in the last round, so...
Yeah, I mean,
you know, I guess we'll see.
This was Dino's pick as far as maps go, but I feel like it played right into Melty's hands. It's a great Symmetra map. They already love running Symmetra, so we'll see if Melty's able to take this first point. They're going to take the map, thus the match, and they're going to move on to our semis.
I'm going to note that we have a little bit of a change up here. Usually it's been Nico on the Genji, but now it's D-Gun. D-Gun, usually the full-time Pharah for... you know, Melty, and he is switched to Genji, unless it's fake out, but regardless.
Nothing strange on defense. Narashu's going to run D.Va, Ill is going to run Reinhardt, Javers is still going to be Genji on defense, Zealous is going to be the Mercy, and Qual is going to be the McCree. My alerts are over. Who's the Mercy? Ka is going to be Mercy. Or not Mercy, Pharah. Jeez.
All right, now we are watching the approach of Genji here. Genji using that backdoor path. I think a lot of people don't really know about that path, so D-Gun getting in. Cabal is on Lucio Bunel, on Reinhardt. Crew on Zarya, Bod on Zenyatta, and Nico on Reaper. And we're just seeing this very, very quick Genji harassment coming out here.
Yeah,
and he takes out the Pharah.
With the orb on him, takes on the Pharah, and he's still alive, doing a lot of work. Gosu gets another kill. Zarya flanks actually from the side.
Yeah, they are getting a lot of work done here. Although, you know, Dino's getting a lot of people down as well. Qualm able to use the damage-boosted McCree to great effect. Takes out 3 people.
That is 3 dead. It was not the most organized of pushes. There was Strange sending Zarya on the flank there, and although they got some work done with their Genji, it wasn't enough to trade out efficiently.
No, certainly not. So, Melty now going to have to regroup a little bit. They do have 4 minutes. They have a lot of time. But that was a nice hold by Dino. And right now we're seeing Melty looking to get in here. Reinhardt with the shield. And I'm going to take a look at D-Gun again. D-Gun already finding his way to the back. And D-Gun getting in for the Reinhardt damage. Oh, Reinhardt violence. Reinhardt is going to go down for Dino. And suddenly, Melty is rushing in.
We'll see, though. This res is up and available, and they might have to use it now. It comes up.
That was a great res by Zealous. Zealous getting 4 people up. That's a very big res. And suddenly, Dino is fighting back here. Javers with the Dragon Blade is able to take out a few people. And sorry, not the Dragon. That was just normal right-click shurikens. Nico with the Death Blossom coming in. Death Blossom is going to get reflected a bit, but no, it's not enough. Nico's still alive and rushing in on the point, able to take out the McCree as well.
Yeah, the question I had was if they were going to be able to hold through this first ultimate phase, right? It's fine to hold when no one's really got their big abilities up and combos haven't come up, but the first ultimate phase was going to be the big test. They did well with the Resurrection. It was a good res, got 3 up, but they just didn't have the ultimates afterwards to be able to contest with Melty's ultimates.
Yeah, and the Reinhardt all comes down, but it doesn't matter. That's
game.
GG. Melty is moving on to the semifinals, where potentially we could have Melty versus Not Enigma. The first big EU versus NA game of the day. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to end up seeing in the top side of the bracket. It's going to be interesting to see who moves on, and we try to see if we got results in yet. Our quarterfinal went pretty quickly, so the others might not be over yet.
That is very possible, though. Not Enigma, a very strong team.